Welcome to the Rebel Mystic Podcast, where practical intuition meets elevated soul. I'm your host, Isabel, evidential psychic medium and spiritual teacher, and I'm here to help you activate your gifts, trust your inner voice, and embody your spiritual power. Let's rise together. Welcome back to the Rebel Mystic Podcast. I'm your host, Isabel, and today we are going to be discussing how you can connect with your spirit guides. Now, if you're watching or you're listening to this and you're thinking, wow, I just feel so stuck. I don't feel like I'm receiving clear guidance. I feel like I'm blocked. I feel like I don't have a relationship or I don't have a connection. They're not communicating with me. Then I want to ease your mind because this is actually something that is very common within the spiritual community where people feel like they have this blockage or they're not receiving specific information from their guides. So you are not alone. I just want you to know that. And I'm going to be sharing 3 techniques with you today that you can start using to connect with your spirit guides today. But before we go ahead and jump into that, I want to share the 3 foundational things that this might actually be very much the reason why you feel like you're not getting a connection. So, the first thing here is creating a sacred space. Now, when I say sacred space, this is ultimately just an area that you will go to for your spiritual practices that makes you feel more connected to spirit, that you feel tranquil, that you feel at ease. So no matter where that is in your house, it can be a whole room, it can be a little space inside of a room, and it doesn't have to be elaborate either. If you feel like, okay, I'm just going to have my journal and a pen, then that's all you need as long as it makes you feel connected. For me, this is basically my sacred space. I do all my spiritual work here, my spiritual practices here. I have just my candle behind me. I have another candle over there too, but this is just my little triangle, as above, so below. Have some crystals on there. I have a smudge stick, a Palo Santo stick, and that's pretty much it. I have some crystals too, but they're not here at my desk. But that's really all I need to feel connected to spirit, to the divine, and do what you feel drawn to and make it your own. But whatever it is that makes you feel connected, go with that. So the second thing is getting present, centered, grounded, and relaxed. Okay. Why are these things all very important? Is because spirit, for one, you're not going to actually catch what they're saying or understand what they're saying if you are not in the present moment, because they speak and communicate with you in the present. You have to be very aware of your thoughts, of your body, what you're feeling, because sometimes they might give you an emotion, sometimes they might give you a feeling. Maybe you're getting a image within your mind. So if you're thinking about what happened earlier today and how frustrated you are with it, or what happens tomorrow, even though it didn't happen yet, you're going to be missing crucial information that might be coming through from your guide. So if you want to get present in the moment, all you have to do is just do a simple grounding, centering technique. And I always just like to focus on my breath. Sometimes I close my eyes. If you're not comfortable with closing your eyes, you can go ahead and stare at a fixed place in your room and just soften your vision and just focus on your breathing. If you have trouble really kind of quieting your mind, I'm not saying that you can't have thoughts because that's completely impossible, but maybe focus on a mantra. Maybe you repeat in your head, I am connected. I am connected. I am connected. And you just keep repeating that for maybe a minute or two, or you count your breaths, whatever that may be. But just get present, focus on your breath, do whatever you have to get centered, feel more grounded before moving on to the next step. Now, when you move on to step 3, this is setting the intention with spirit. So just ask your spirit guides. Spirit guides, I just want to give you some gratitude for being able to connect with me today. I invite you to connect with my energy, to give me the guidance that I need to hear for, you fill in the blank of whatever your intention is. So, moving on to the 3 techniques that I'm going to be sharing with you today, and starting with number 1, and I will admit, this is not my favorite technique to use. This is not one that I use daily. The third one I'm going to share with you is the one that I use daily, but it might not resonate with you. So this is why I'm going to share one that doesn't really resonate with me. It might resonate with you. I learned this in a mediumship circle, and it's called the radio tuning technique. So I'll just give you an example of how this worked in the actual mediumship circle, and then you can apply this or try this if you want to, if you're drawn to this. It's very helpful for your clairaudient ability, the psychic ability of hearing. So if you lean more on the clairaudient side, this might be a perfect technique for you. So during my mediumship circle, we were asked as an exercise to visualize this radio within our mind. And within this radio, of course, there's a little tuner to change stations, to change frequencies. So when I was in the breakout rooms in Zoom and I was connecting with someone, I was visualizing this radio, I was tuning it, and I actually like hear like within my mind, I'm playing like the white noise static that you would hear if you're tuning a radio. But within that, I would get random little snippets of words, of phrases that would come through. And I was actually really astonished because I was getting pretty evidential, relevant information to my sitter of, the loved one who passed over. So that is a technique that works. Again, it's not my favorite technique to use. I actually prefer the third one, like I said, but it's definitely something, again, if you're leaning more on the clairaudient side, to try. So I'm going to leave that with you. I would actually recommend trying all the techniques that I'm sharing to see which one feels the best for you. So the second technique that I will be sharing with you, technique that I want to share with you is using oracle cards or tarot cards. Now, the first thing that I want to say about using oracle cards or tarot cards is when you use them, go in very neutral minded, releasing or surrendering to whatever information spirit wants to bring with you. So don't get too focused on the outcome or the answers that you want to hear, because that can affect the energy. Try to go in neutral, try to go in as open as possible to whatever answers spirit wants to bring to you, because they are here to serve your highest good. So once you have that neutral mindset, you had that intention that you're connecting with spirit, you want guidance on X, Y, or Z, you're going to go ahead and start shuffling. This is me shuffling my invisible cards. Whatever cards fly out, maybe you pick a couple off the top, whatever resonates with you. But the thing that I want to say first is don't fly directly over to the guidebook to read what that card means or search it on the internet. Actually look at the cards, look at the placements too. Like, see how one card is different from the other card. Do they kind of blend together? Is there a story to be told here? Are there specific symbols, numbers, colors that you are specifically drawn to? And I want you to ask yourself, what does this symbol, what does this number, what does this color mean to me? And use your intuition here, because a lot of the times the message that we need to know, and I'm getting chills all over my body, so I know this is going to resonate with someone, but whatever we need to hear, we usually already have the answers within ourselves. So trust your own intuition when you're looking at these cards, looking at the story, the symbols, whatever it may be. What are you being drawn to? Okay. And usually that is what your guides are trying to get across. That's the message there. Okay. And if you do not have a physical oracle card or tarot card deck, but you're interested in trying this out, I'm just going to give a shout out to Colette Baron Reed. If you get on her website, and I think I might actually post this below for you guys, but if you get on her website, she has these digital oracle card decks, and you can click on whatever one that you're feeling drawn to. You can usually pick out like 3 cards, and you can use that as an option if you don't have a physical deck. So I think that that's an excellent other alternative. If you are interested in buying a deck and you don't know which one to get, I have a recommendation. The Psychic Tarot deck by John Holland is ultimately my favorite. It's an oracle card deck, but it's based off of the tarot. So if you're kind of in that in between, it's a great deck, beautiful imagery. It's my go-to. It's the only deck you'll probably ever see me using. But first and foremost, just go with the deck that you are feeling drawn to. You don't have to take my recommendation. So before we go ahead and we move on to the third technique that I want to share, and this is my go-to, this is the one that I do every single day. I want to share with you my guide that I just created. It is 38 pages. I'm so proud of it. And this is all about connecting with your spirit guides, how to connect with them. Who are your spirit guides? How do they communicate with you? And if you are not familiar with psychic development, the way that spirit communicates with you through the clair abilities like clairvoyance, clairaudience, and this will be an excellent like starter way to start understanding that because I'm actually sharing symbols that they give you, such as angel numbers, nature symbols through animals, things like that. There's so many aspects to this that I put together for you. And I also talk about how to differentiate the difference between spirit and your ego and how to tell the difference between that, how to build the relationship with your spirit guides. And I also have a pretty good amount of journal prompts that you can use to help you build that connection with your spirit guides. I'm super proud of it. I really hope that you guys go ahead and check it out in the description below. It'll be the first thing that you see. And trust me when I say you will not regret it if you go ahead and check this out. It has so much information. I put so much time into this. So please go ahead and check it out. But all right, moving on to the third, my favorite, the technique that I use literally every single day, and that is a stream of consciousness, or people also call this automatic writing. Now, the thing is that I want to clarify, if you ever watched a movie where there was like a psychic or a medium and they're doing automatic writing and they're just like, kind of in some type of like hypnotic state and they're just scribbling mindlessly like on the page, just writing down random words and stuff. I'm not like shaming that, but that's not how it works for me. Like I'm actually still aware and conscious of like what I'm writing. I'm not thinking about it though. I'm just allowing the thoughts to flow through and I'm writing it as it comes. So before we actually get into how I actually do this, I want to say if you had a crazy day, go ahead and jot that down before you even do the pre-connection steps that I shared, like the sacred space, the meditation, and setting the intention with your spirit guides. Go ahead and take a moment to write down, what was bothering you through the day and stuff, because you don't want that to be on your mind when you're trying to do your stream of consciousness. So after you get that out of the way and you go through the three steps, the foundational steps that I shared with you, and you can go ahead and you can write your intention on your paper at the top, like a title. If you don't feel like writing like on pen and paper, you can type it up. You can also use voice memos on your phone and just speak it as the thoughts are coming through to you. So whatever works for you, there's multiple ways to do this. That's why I love this because I literally use all three ways, whatever I'm feeling called to do. You just start writing or saying the thoughts as they are coming to you. When I'm writing, I'm not worried about how my grammar looks, how my spelling, or how my, writing looks at all. I'm just writing the thoughts as fast as possible as they are coming to me and with the intention of the guidance that, I want to hear from spirit. And one thing that I notice, especially if I am just speaking out loud to a voice memo, is that my language starts to shift. So instead of saying like, I this, I that, I blah, 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 you start to have this shift of like, you. Like, you should, blah, blah, blah. You should, whatever it might be. And like, that's when I kind of know that my guides are stepping in. And that's like, the guidance coming through. Even there's some differences within my language, like words that I typically would not use on a daily basis can come through as well. But ultimately, just start writing down what's coming through thought by thought. Don't think about it, just write it down. Always know that spirit is going to communicate with you with love and compassion and inspiration. They are not going to doubt you or tell you that, anything harsh or mean. They're always going to share, even if it's a hard message, they're going to share it with love. If it is coming off harsh or mean, then that's most likely your ego coming through. And that's exactly why I made my guide to tell you the difference between spirit and ego. The other tip I have when it comes to the stream of consciousness, if you're writing it down, make sure after you're done with your stream of consciousness session that you go immediately and you start interpreting what you wrote. If you're anything like me, you will have like doctor level chicken scratch and you will want to interpret it because if you dare wait an hour to interpret it, then you're probably going to be like, what the heck is that? Like, what did I just write? So go ahead and interpret it like right after. It'll be very helpful. But I get a lot of great information from my stream of consciousness sessions that I do on a daily, whether it's me writing, typing, or saying it in a voice memo. That's typically the way I've been doing it recently is doing the voice memos. But I hope that you guys try it. And that is all I have for now. If you resonated with this video, then please go ahead and comment. Thank you for the tips that you resonated. If you have tips that you would like to share, go ahead and share that within the comments too, because this is a community and there's so many people who are in the beginning stages of their spiritual journeys who might find something that you do very helpful that they might want to try. So you never know if you're going to be helping someone out. And go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, of course. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Rebel Mystic Podcast. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Want to go deeper in your development? Explore my signature mentorship, Awaken the Psychic Goddess Within. Linked in the show notes. Until next time, stay grounded and stay open. Your magic is needed.